Gonna make some sauerkraut. It's that time again. I've been putting it off. These have been in my fridge for a little bit. They're kind of wrinkly, so we're gonna have to peel off a couple layers. That's okay. Cabbages are a preservation food. You just peel off the outside. Feed the wilted parts to the chickens. They love it. Hi, friends. So just peel it off till it looks fresh and not wrinkly anymore. That's why some of the cabbages at the store will be really small, because they'll just have peeled off a bunch of the layers. That happens. I'm going to open all 3 of my cabbages because they need to get used. You see how it's kind of dry and wilted? That's totally normal. It's been sitting for a while in the fridge. So I'm just going to peel off the outer layers until it looks nice and fresh again. And that's the part of this cabbage we will use. Easy peasy. Yeah, it's probably been in there for a month. I keep forgetting about it because it was in the drawer. And it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Just an issue. Alright. Get this last little leaf off, and I think we'll be good on this one. Yeah, that looks better. Next, slice off that little piece. Okay. 3rd cabbage. I'm going to do 3 cabbages, and I'm going to put onion in there, and I think I'm going to put some fresh garlic in there because it just makes the sauerkraut taste so delicious to have garlic in it. So we're going to do that. I think I might offer custom ordered ferments on my hot plate, potentially, where I just make what they order and they pay me ahead of time so that I can bring the ferments to the market for them without having to bring stuff that I'm not gonna sell, because it's hard having excess like that. I want to make sure that I'm only making what people want, you know. All right, so I like to shred my cabbage. Usually I'll do like a half and then I'll shred it. And I'm going to change the unit on my scale to grams. I don't like super tiny pieces because it goes around the spring. I like them to be a little bit more substantial, but the end pieces I will cut down into more of a uniform ribbon. You tear your scale so your bowl doesn't weigh anything, and then you start loading it up with your cabbage. So you want the weight in grams of your cabbage, and that is what we will use to calculate how much salt we need to add to our brine. Okay. I think I may have to do this in 2 batches because it is a smaller bowl than I usually use. So I'm basically just slicing these into ribbons, but not like tiny ribbons. The smaller you cut it, the faster it will ferment. So if you do big chunks of cabbage, thick slices of cabbage, that's going to take longer to ferment than it would be if you, say, put it in the food processor and shredded it up really fine. When you do that, it'll ferment very, very quickly. It can be ready in a couple of days versus 2 weeks. Mine is usually about 2 weeks. Hi, Alyssa. I decided to make sauerkraut tonight. It's time to do it. I've been putting it off. So I'm making a big batch. Try to keep an eye on your scale. Make sure it doesn't fall asleep on you. If it falls asleep, you're going to have to reweigh your cabbage. I like to take the weight of my bowl and I put a sticker with the weight on it and just leave it there. Need to make some. Yeah, you should start it now. Do it! Get on the same kraut schedule. So I put the weight of the bowl on the bowl so that I can just do the math, weigh the whole thing, and then do the math if I lose it and it falls asleep. I try to race the scale. These wireless scales are notorious for falling asleep and losing what you have been working on. And they make me a little bit crazy. So I try to not leave it unattended for very long. You also need to start dinner. Yes. That's going to be part of my proceedings as well. My hubby's the only one who hasn't eaten. So I'm going to make kielbasa and cabbage for him. You shred yours? Yeah, so yours will ferment faster. Mine's shredded, but it's like a thick shred. It's a 1/4 of an inch. It's all personal preference, like however you like it. You can do big fat chunks. I've seen people do very substantial chunks for theirs. And it ferments longer. It'll be like a month or 2 months. I like that this stays a little firmer. That helps a lot. The texture is really nice. Okay, so I'm going to save some of this cabbage. I might actually be able to fit it all in here. I'm going to save some of this cabbage for my husband's dinner. I'm going to do Polish sausage and cabbage and onions for his dinner, like a kielbasa and cabbage situation. So he likes that, and that's an easy, quick meal. Yeah, it gives it a really, really nice crunch. All right, I'm going to, we're just going to stick with these two for now. And I'm going to put some onion in there. So any other vegetable you're adding, just add it during this weighing phase. Okay, so you can do any vegetable. You want to cut it to similar size. That helps a lot if you can have it close to the same size. It'll ferment at a more predictable rate. Okay. Hey. Why are you barking? I keep tapping the scale so it doesn't fall asleep on me. I'm like, no, I'm sleeping. All right, for the onions, I'm going to just do like half moons. Will be fine. These will bust apart in the ferment. That. And then some of these I'll use for my husband's dinner. He's going to have the onions with the cabbage for his kielbasa and cabbage. And this is nice. It's like double meal prep and getting a ferment going. It's a double whammy. All right, and I need some garlic. I'm gonna grab a garlic. Don't fall asleep. Stay awake. Talking to you still. We have 1791 in there right now. And I'm not super precious about the garlic. I just kind of smash it and throw it in there. It doesn't need to be super well chopped if you don't feel like chopping it. It works. The flavor's good. I just like to open up that cell wall a little bit and just chuck it in there. Okay. So we have 1797. We're going to do times 0.03. Come over here. Calculator. 1797. 1797 times 0.03. Okay. Need 53 grams of salt for this brine. And so I'm going to tare my scale, and we're just going to slowly add the salt in on top, and we're weighing it while we do it. So 53 grams. That's what we're going for here. Okay, we got it. And I'm going to cut up some of this cabbage for my husband's dinner. Peel that. Okay. And we're going to start working in the sauerkraut here in just a second. So this will be his. I'll cook it in the pan. And I'll get this other half of the onion. My husband loves onions, so that's always a yes on his plate. We'll make it pretty because we have the red onion with the green cabbage. For kielbasa and cabbage, I actually take the half and I cut it this way, so against the circle, for sauteing the onion. I think I like just the shape that it gives me better. So we're just going to get that sliced up. And these I'll usually cook first. My scale went to sleep, but it's okay. It's okay, scale. I think I might add the rest of this cabbage because he doesn't really like leftover kielbasa and cabbage. He only really likes it that first time, or if I cook the vegetables fresh. Otherwise, he's like, blah. Reheated cabbage is not his. He didn't like the reheated cabbage much. Okay, that's going to shrink down a lot. And so to add more cabbage or more vegetables to this pot, you can just tare your scale again. So if you're like, oh, I found some peppers and I want to add those, you just tare the scale just like you did before, and then add those in and do the same calculation. Whatever the weight of that is times 0.03. Need to make more golden beet kvass. Yes, Natalie loves the red beet kvass. She said, did you say beet kvass? Natalie really likes the red beet kvass a lot. That was her favorite. Okay. I'll turn this back on. I'm going to add some more of this cabbage. Okay. So that is 250 grams. 250 50 times 0.03. Okay, so we need 7 more grams of salt. So we're just going to tare that. Add a little more salt. There we go. We hit it. It's good to go. All right. So we're going to massage that here in a second. I'm going to start my pan for my kielbasa and cabbage really quick. Okay, so we're going to set this aside for now. And I'm going to start cooking these here in a minute. So we can work on this sauerkraut. So I've got my salt in there, and I just want to massage that into the cabbage. So that's going to help to break down the cell wall and really help it to release the brine and make it nice and juicy and help it ferment better. So you can skip this step if you want to. You can just jam it into the jar really tight, or you can put it into the jar loosely and create a brine if you like, and just add that on top. Totally up to you. You wouldn't add the salt yet. You would add the cabbage and the water to your jar, and then take the weight of those and find your salt amount if you're going to do it that way. This is the method to basically have the cabbage create all of the brine for you. It comes from the juice inside of the plant. So I'm just gonna work it a little bit. It's like freezing cold on my hands. It's been in the refrigerator, so I don't really want to sit here and work it too long. But I do want to at least get the salt distributed to the bottom bits and start the process. And then you can kind of set it aside and let it marinate off on its own. If you really have stress, you can just get in there and squeeze it as much as you need to. So this method, I let it ferment for 2 weeks. There's other ways to make it faster. If you wanted to add like a previous batch brine, that can make it faster. You can add a fermented vegetable culture. That'll make it ferment faster. You can add like kefir whey to it. That will make it ferment faster. So yeah, there's definitely other ways. I like the flavor at 2 weeks. I feel like it has a nice tang to it. If you use less salt, it will ferment faster. The more salt, the slower it'll ferment. It'll also help it maintain the crunch if you use a higher amount of salt. So that is a benefit, and then you have a much less risk of mold. So it makes it really stable ferment, which is nice. Some of the lower salt ferments can get a little touch and go. Like you can grow some stuff for sure. My hands are all red. Is that called? Okay. I'm going to squeeze that. Squeeze it. Set this aside. I'm going to rinse my hands real quick. Okay, I'm going to set this aside and let it kind of marinate for a minute. I make mine with cabbage and carrots and salt and put pressure on it, and it ferments in 1 week at room temperature. You might just have like a lower percentage of salt. Do you know what your percentage of salt is? Because it could definitely be ready in a week depending on how much you put in. Okay, I need a canning funnel. Maybe. Oh my gosh. I know I have a canning funnel. I was hiding. Okay. Do this. I have my kraut pounder, and we're gonna load this guy up. Cabbage and onion. And it's going to start releasing a lot of liquid for us here as we press it down. Onions and cabbage both have a fair bit of liquid in them. And I won't fill these completely full. I'm going to end up adding more brine because I love having extra brine. Yeah, try my method next time for comparison. There's a bajillion different ways to ferment that are still safe and like good, but this is the way that I found a lot of success and consistency, where it always turns out good. Hey baby, hey baby, hey. Hi, Holly's here. Hi, Holly. Okay. Not much. I got to go see my friend's farm today. We went to visit. She has rabbits and a bunch of chickens in a cute little yard in somebody else's farm area. It's really cute. It's very like in the trees. Yeah. Nothing much. I just needed to make dinner and I needed to make sauerkraut. So I was like, yeah, we haven't done one of these in a while. I should do one of these body doubling live streams. Getting my pan heated up. I'm going to make kielbasa and cabbage for my husband's dinner because I already have rice made. So that's easy. Fast and easy dinner. What are you guys making for dinner? Tell me what you're making for dinner. Oh. We did have a scheduled live tonight, but I wasn't even home. It wasn't on my phone calendar. So I was like, I'm going to get on and make sauerkraut instead. Nobody was RSVP'd to be there tonight, so I was like, we'll just go live on Instagram. You had Asian bowls? That sounds good. We've been doing like burritos. Have been good. I had made fire roasted tomatoes for chili the other day, and they were bomb. And now I'm making them with some ground beef, basil, and some pasta. Ooh, yummy. I thought I was having visions. I got on there and deleted it. Okay. I think I'm going to get 2 jars out of this. 2 half gallons. I prefer to make these like a lot at once. So I'll make them like quarterly. Make sauerkraut every 3 months or so, you know? That seems to work pretty good. This is going to release so much more juice as it sits. You checked it this morning too. Okay. Gonna fill this guy up. I think I might just add brine to it. Just get it full enough that my weight will press it down. Is there only salt in the cabbage? Do you recommend a certain brand or kind? Yes. So I use either Malden salt or Baja Gold salt. I just happen to have the salt in a jar because I refill it. I have a giant bag in my closet. That's one of the best brands for sure. The Baja Gold is really nice. For a while there, I tried to use Redmond's real salt, but I didn't love it. Yeah. The Baja dissolves readily, which is great for this. You want it to absorb into your vegetables quickly. Okay. Love it. Surprisingly, I still have that bag from October. I'm still working on it. I thought I would go through it faster than that, but it's lasted quite a while. It was quite a bit of salt with all my fermenting. Okay. I need to put some oil in the pan. What's my code for Baja? It's in my bio. I don't remember the code. I don't remember what it is offhand. But yeah, there's a link in there you can go to. Haven't been fermenting as much. We haven't been eating them quite as often. I don't eat that much at a time. My husband was eating a lot for a while there, and then he had histamine issue with his gout. He had to stop eating high histamine for a little bit, and so he stopped eating his onions. So yeah, I haven't been eating as much. Yeah, I think they're doing a 20% off thing for Easter, actually, I think. So definitely a good time to look. All right, well, close. Press this one some more. And it's starting to get juicy. Okay, I'm going to add water to both of these. So to calculate the salt on that, I need my scale again. I'm going to have to go fill up my water. So let me get the scale. We're going to put the jar on there. Wash my hands. Hi guys, are the birds put up? Can you put them to bed? And it's filling up water. That takes a second. Okay. Let's do. All right. So we've got our veggies in here. We're going to put in the brine. So I'm going to tear my scale. Tear it. We're just going to add water up to the neck here. And then I'm going to do a 3% of the weight of the water. And that'll be how much? So that's 442 grams. So clear this. 442 times 0.03 equals. All right, so we need to add 13 grams of salt to that. So we'll tear it. I'm going to put $13 grams of salt in there. So that keeps the entire jar at that 3%. So if you add more water in there, you gotta add salt for it. Yeah, it's raining. So I have my favorite spring, and I will use that to push down the cabbage that's floating to the top. And then I'm going to put down the lid. Some of them escaped. Let me see. I'm going to try to fish them out. Come here, cabbage. Come here, floaty cabbage. The salty cabbage is super yummy. Okay. So, get the floaters off the top. If you can. Because those are the ones that are susceptible to mold. Then you screw your lid on. Okay. So, onions, cabbage, and garlic and that guy. This one, I'm going to put the weight on it first before I pour the water in. And we'll see if that stops it from... Okay, we're going to tear it. That weight in there stops it from splashing. We'll see. Keep our... That's like not even full enough for the spring to really be effective. We'll see how it does. So we're putting more water in there. We've got 650 clear. 650 times 0.03. Alright, we need 19 grams of salt. So tear. We're going to add in 19 more grams of salt. And then these will go on the counter for 2 weeks for sure, potentially longer if it needs to. Sometimes it doesn't get sour enough fast enough. It just depends on the cabbage and how sweet it was, I think. It's my theory. All right. So these are going on my fermentation plate, and I am going to cook dinner. I'm trying to decide if I want to move you guys. I could move you over here, I suppose, but then I lose my light. Oh, we'll try it. All right, it's going to get dark. Oh. Guys, let's not wrestle right now, please. Not wrestling right now. All right, let's cook some dinner. I plug this in. The pan is hot. Turn this on. Going to turn on light. Hey, we can see. We can see. Yeah, it's raining right now. It's been kind of chilly today. So, right. How close am I to my kitty? Not close. I'm taking my sweet time. Not in a hurry. Okay. Going to put some cooked avocado oil into my pan. My pan is rip-roaring hot. And I'm going to throw in my cabbage, my onion. And we're just going to pan fry it for a little bit. Get my tongs smoky. I don't want it to burn. I'm going to get out some meat stock to put in here. I need to cut up my sausages. And I'll season this up with garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, paprika. It's really good with a little like honey or brown sugars in my mom's recipe. And then she uses Better Than Bouillon. I stopped using that because it's got MSG in it. So I just use bone broth or water. Water works too. Oops. Drop my hot dogs on the floor. Oh my god. Okay. Alright. Hot dogs on the floor. These are the Grand Tetons Polish sausages. They're pretty tasty. Okay. I'm going to come in here with some salt. And my cabbages. Baja has the little shakers, but the small side's a little too small, so I have to use the big side. We're going to salt that up, probably a teaspoon of salt. I like this smoked pepper. It smells like smoky. It's applewood smoked pepper. A little bit of that. What are your most used herbs and spices? Like on my reaching for area, I have onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, Worcestershire sauce, salt, smoked pepper. Those are kind of my main ones. Oh, we're starting to caramelize. Turn this down a little bit. Okay, let me grab my meat stock. Hey, you. Handfuls. It's like super gelatinous. Just gonna add that in there for flavor and collagen and all of that. And that's gonna slow down the cooking of my, ooh yeah, cumin. Slow down the cooking on my cabbage a little bit so it doesn't burn. I got a little bit of that char on there, which is kind of what I wanted, but I don't want it to be burnt. Okay, so we're gonna cut up some sausages. And then this is served over rice usually, but you could have it with noodles or whatever, potatoes, whatever you want. You could just eat it straight with no rice. My mom likes the rice because it soaks up the sauce. And the sauce has sugar in it, so it makes it delicious when she makes it. So that tracks. Alright. And I just throw the Teton hot dogs in here. And then these are going to get cooked in this seasoned cabbage onion mix. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Oh, and you use ginger, turmeric, and cayenne a lot. Okay, those are on my secondary shelf. They're not on my I use this every single day shelf. Those are in my other area. Okay, so now that this is in here, you put the lid on it and you let it cook for 10 minutes on medium-low heat. And that's pretty much it. You put it on rice. If your rice is fresh, obviously it's ready to go. You just serve it onto it. If you're using leftover rice, I just heat the rice up. Microwave, usually. Blasphemous. Pretty darn easy. Alright. Well, that was that. I hope you guys had a good time. I guess that might be a secondary. Yeah, that's probably your secondaries. But if you have a bigger spice cabinet than I do, you might keep those all together. I just have this little spot up here, and then my other spices are away from it. the spice magnet for the side of the fridge. Yes. My thing with that is it doesn't hold very much. Then I end up using all of it. And then I just have to keep refilling them. I just keep like the bags. Because I go through them that fast. I buy a bag and that's what I use. Easy fast. I think I started cooking a little too early. This cabbage is gonna be overcooked by the time he gets home. It's not gonna like that. I should stop cooking it. I'm just gonna turn it off. I don't want it to be overcooked. It's 2 cupboard doors, and all the main go along the front. Then stair shelving for secondary and behind. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, mine are in baskets. So I have like a sweet basket, a savory basket, and like an overflow basket. But on top of that, I also have, I guess you would call it like a bin, a bin of spices in my junk closet. So, and then I also have above the microwave. Yeah. I have spices in a couple locations. I don't have a problem. You have a problem. Okay. So, taste this. I didn't put paprika in here. Yeah, I want some paprika. Dropped it. Okay. Paprika. They're pretty good though. It's so good on rice. Alright, let me show you guys what I have going on down here. Let me show you guys. So we've got cabbage, onions, garlic powder, salt, and grained Teton weenies. They're technically Italian sausages, even though we treat them like hot dogs. Or not Italian sausages, Polish sausages is what they're labeled as. So that's kind of what a kielbasa is. So yeah, actually works perfectly. Tastes good. I like it with the both. Okay. And then, if you want to get really crazy, after your sauerkraut is done, you can make kielbasa and cabbage and mix in sauerkraut with your cabbage after, like, when you serve it. So fancy. So fancy. Alright. I'm gonna... I still have junk out from making my crackers earlier, which I made a big batch of crackers the other day, and I only ended up cooking like a quarter of them that day. And so I had them in the refrigerator. I was like, I need to make crackers today. I think my daughter's favorite is the sticks. Is that your favorite, the sticks? Duh. Dawn, what's your favorite cracker?
I think those the meat, the ones with the meat seasoning.
You like what, Beth? Pretty tasty. Alright. I am going to get off of here. I'm finished getting ready for dinner before my husband gets home. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. It was so fun. I need to do this more often. I've been slacking, but we're going to do every Tuesday next month. So keep an eye out. I will post the schedule. Good night, everybody.